in a second. Isn't it just so sad, Tamara Ugolini, that Canadians are clamoring for an election, and then you wake up today with the announcement, oh, we're getting an election. Yeah. No, not a federal election, which everybody wants, practically. Although if you believe Karina Gould, she says Canadians don't want a federal election. Wow. But Doug Ford, a provincial election, he's got a super majority government. He's got it for another 2 years at least. And this is pure politicking. But before I get into, and you know what it reminds me of, Tamara Ugolini? It's that great sales contest in Glengarry Glen Ross where these hapless real estate guys have to go out and sell these no-hope properties. And for the month, whoever makes the most sales, well, first prize, Cadillac Eldorado. Second prize, set of steak knives. Third prize, you're fired. And, you know, in that department, Doug Ford's got to be careful what he wishes for. I'm not saying he's going to lose, but then again, I hearken back to 1990. David Peterson, the Liberal Premier, had a majority government, went to the polls very early, and Ontario woke up to an NDP government under Bob Rae. And I will make a prediction. Regardless of who wins, I think, Tamara, you are going to see one of the lowest, if not the record lowest turnout in a Ontario provincial election. One, because it's going to be in the dead of winter, which is really no excuse, but people will use that as an excuse. And secondly, even supporters of Doug Ford, and this is what he's got to be careful of, are going to say, I don't agree with this. He's going to win anyway, so I'm just going to stay at home, right? And the moment in elections you think it's in the bag, guess what? It comes out of the bag, especially when it comes to the Liberals and the NDP, you have all the public union leaders. They'll be advocating. I'm not sure where they're going to weigh in, whether it's Bonnie Crombie Liberals or the NDP, but they're highly motivated. They get out the vote. So, you know, I think he's playing with fire. But before I get your opinion on this, Tamara, why don't we check out what Premier Doug Ford had to say in that beautiful borough of Brampton?
We will be calling the election next Wednesday. I'll be seeing the Lieutenant Governor on Tuesday. We need a mandate from the people to fight against Donald Trump's tariffs, the attack he's coming against our families, our businesses, our communities. And with a strong mandate, we will be able to fight with Donald Trump to make sure we stop the tariffs and make sure that we give certainty to the people of Ontario. It may take investing tens of billions of dollars. We'll do tens of billions of dollars. It's no different than during the pandemic. We'll make sure we secure people's livelihoods, and I will do whatever it takes to protect the people of Ontario, in turn, because we're the engine of Canada, protecting all Canadians. We will not back down.
That is so concerning to me, that tens of billions of dollars, let's spend tens of billions of dollars to clean up our streets and get our borders under control. Why is it that Doug Ford and certain other premiers want to go into a trade war and escalate these tensions? I think that the way Premier Danielle Smith, and we'll get into this a little bit further, but Quebec Premier Francois Legault, I think that their approach to trying to be diplomatic and rein in a lot of these escalating measures is what is going to be a win-win for both countries. I do not agree at all with what Doug Ford is doing. I think that money could be better invested into doing what Ontarians have wanted for the last few years, which is to clean up our streets and curb the influx of record immigration into our country, into our province, and into our towns and our cities. And don't forget, David, he says he needs a mandate from the Ontario people. As you've already said, he has a majority government. But if we look at the 2022 election, if memory serves me correctly, there was 40% voter turnout during that election. And so why he thinks that there's going to be, I don't know, even a larger voter turnout this time around during a snap election with so much happening in the political landscape as we speak, and that he will somehow get more of a majority government at this time, it completely eludes me.
It's pure politics, Tamara Ugolini. They're looking at the polls, which suggest he will have another majority mandate, but nothing is for certain. But I want to reverse engineer this. He says he needs a mandate, which, of course, as you mentioned, he already has. He has a majority government for another 2 years to fight the Donald Trump tariffs. But those tariffs, that is just conjecture right now. We were expecting on Monday, as soon as Donald Trump took office, that we would be whacked with tariffs. That didn't happen. We've been told, and it's been widely reported, they're coming on February the 1st. Earlier this week, and I'm surprised this is not getting more publicity, on a Toronto radio station, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith was interviewed, and she says that Donald Trump misspoke about the date. It's not February the 1st, but Premier Smith said it is actually April the 1st, right? But again, until it happens, what I'm getting at, Tamara, if you are going to build the case that you need a mandate to fight Donald Trump's tariffs that are going to hurt Ontario, can you not wait until February the 1st? Or if Danielle Smith is correct, April the 1st? And it might not happen. We don't know if these are negotiating ploys. We don't know if Donald Trump is really concerned way more about Mexico than Ontario and Canada. But once it's a reality, then maybe you have some solid ground to say, I need a mandate. But right now, it's just speculation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good point, David. And I think that we know President Trump is a professional troll. And so he'll troll people just to gauge the temperature and to see, where that line is going to be drawn. And I agree that Doug Ford's position, it started off that he was going to cut energy to the United States, cut electric energy to the United States. And then he was going to pull, I think it was bourbon, U.S. bourbon from the shelves in Ontario, from the LCBOs, which you can still get, I think, at select convenience stores because of what he's done with the availability of liquor in Ontario. And now he's saying that we need a new mandate. I mean, Ford is quite literally just flip-flop Ford once again. He's all over the map. He can't seem to figure out what exactly to nail down and to hold true on. He's just going every which way and throwing things at the wall to see what will stick, is how I'm reading this.
And by the way, Tamara Ugolini, I'm going to give myself a Barry Horowitz pat on the back because I think I coined the nickname Triple F for him, Flip Flop Ford. This guy flip flops more than a marlin once you reel it in and throw it on the surface of the boat. But I just want to point out one thing you said, and you're absolutely right. One of the targets, if you can imagine, is Kentucky bourbon. And he's got the power, evidently, to yank Kentucky bourbon off the shelves of the hard liquor monopoly, that is the LCBO. Yeah, in Ontario, the market's been opened up for supermarkets and gas stations and convenience stores to sell liquor. Oh, but not all liquor, beer and wine. We're not quite adult enough for the hard stuff, Tamara Ugolini, and if you can explain why, there's a steak dinner in it for you. But as I understand it, these Kentucky distilleries, I've been told, I'll have to fact check this, get a lot of their rye from the province of Alberta. So, Triple F, he's hurting Albertans and a Canadian province by eradicating Kentucky bourbon on the shelves of our liquor monopoly stores. Unbelievable.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.